Roman, welcome to Inside Nearshoring. Thanks for coming. In short, yes. So a software engineering career, a purposeful choice, an accident. How come you are in this profession? Please introduce yourself.
My name is Roman, and yeah, it was my choice. It was my real choice, and I started from the development of sites. It was sites for Ukrainian companies. Actually, in that time, it was about 10 years ago. We started design company. It was design agency, and I was like a marketing manager and web developer in that company. Actually, it was not big company. It was we created a company with my friends. It was about 7 persons. And then I started to create websites for Ukrainian companies, and it was my first touch. No, actually not first touch, because I make some like sites, web pages in my university, but in real life it was first touch with web development.
I see, perfect. So you are one of a kind of a developer who used to have, let's say, else experience. It was marketing experience, yeah. But then now it is like a technology, which is, in my opinion, not too often happening with the Ukrainian developers. Can you reflect a little bit on whether it brings you some additional value as a developer, your past experience as a marketing manager, or maybe it's not?
Yes, I always try to my development skills at my previous skills from the marketing, and when I communicate with a client, I always ask them about what we can do for business, and when we develop something or implement some kind of feature, I also try to get knowledge about business purpose of this feature. So it helps me, yeah.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Knowing you for a couple of years, I perfectly know how well you communicate with your clients. So yeah, totally support that. Roman, what do you think is a typical learning curve while a developer stays on some project? I mean, a person comes in, learns all the obstacles, all the details, and then, of course, improves himself or herself with the technical skill, everything. But being on one project, perhaps this duration of learning is limited. Yeah. 1 year, 5 years, I don't know. Please tell me.
Actually, it depends on the particular project. My experience says me it's for good project it's about 3 years. So for 3 years you have what to learn in technology in this project. But I believe on the big project it's possible to learn for all life cycle of this project, and it could be about 5 or maybe more years. So I think it depends on the projects. In my experience, it was about 3 years when I constantly improved my skills on the one project.
Okay, but like you said, a person starts, or a project starts with some kind of a framework, if it's front-end, for example, but then new frameworks, I think they continue appearing like every couple of months. Of course, not every framework is as popular as React, or if it's framework, I can be speaking on that, or Angular or whatever, but how likely the project, the big project, like you said, will be willing to change a technological stack from one framework to another, from one programming language to another in 3 or 5 years, for example?
When project grows, it could be such a situation that developer team shift from one technology to other technology, and for example, in one of my previous project, we shifted from the Angular to the React, and so it was a different UX framework, different, and also we shifted from TypeScript to JavaScript, and then we decided to shift again from JavaScript to TypeScript. But in general, we shifted from Angular to React, and in this period, I started to learn new technology. And it is good, actually. It is good for the developer, and it is good for project, because we saw that current framework is not good now for our scale. So to improve scales, to make it better for clients, for it possible to shift to new technology.
I see.
Good.
I see. The business or the client was at that time thinking, or if I was a businessman, for example, be a vague one. So I have a team who knows Angular, and now I decide to write in React. Probably I have two choices. Get my team learn a new technology, but I basically wait for them to learn it and they do kind of nothing. Or I could maybe take the new people with React right away. Obviously, in your case, the client decided to retain existing team and let the existing team learn. Can you think from approach of a developer, like, what reasons could we be giving to the client to continue working with the same team, giving them an ability to learn?
Actually, in that project, there was mix, because they took a couple of people with knowledge of React, and also they pushed us current team to learn new technology, and I think this is a best approach. Because they took people who knows best practice of these frameworks, and they have people who knows this project, who knows the business logic of this project. It's the best. And for developer in this situation, I think it's good for developer who wants to grow. It's a very good situation, because you can improve your skills, and you get knowledge in different technology, and it improve your value on the market. So
okay, fair enough. You mentioned about this, an ability to learn new things. I'm trying to think from perspective of else professions, and I think, let's say 10 to 20% of people usually are constantly willing to learn. Like if the person paints the walls, I think most people do not want to learn new things because they paint the walls. Or if a person drives a trolley, or if a person fixes some mechanism. So, and in software development, it is my assumption that most developers are always eager to learn new things.
Yeah.
Is it correct or not? And also, what happens with a developer who stops learning new things?
If you want to work in this sphere, you have to learn new things. You have to improve yourself, because it's such a sphere of life which constantly evolve, and if you stop learning in 3 or 4 years, you just will lost your knowledge, and you will lost your value on the market. So this sphere just eager you to improve yourself and constantly get knowledge of in this sphere.
I see. Good. what are the sources for your learning? I mean, like, you can be learning on practice, working on some particular project, or when the client decides with you guys to change the technology stack, things like that. But if this is not happening, you are on a project for a year or two, what are the typical sources of your knowledge improvement?
Typical sources, it could be online courses, also it could be books. And for example, now I take a couple of online courses in schools and in university. So for example, now I'm taking a part in algorithm course because I'm feeling that I need it. So this is actually the typical way how developers improve yourself and how you can learn.
Okay, thank you. What's your attitude towards the professional conferences? There are some being organized for developers, by developers. I know lots of people attend those. Is it just a hype thing, like to hang around, like, see a new city, meet new people, or it really can be a very stretched into 2 days knowledge that you can then use forever or something?
This is a good question. Actually, yeah, such party it's good for to get to meet new people. It's good to get fun, but also on such conference you can get information about new approaches. And for sure, it's not enough to start practice it, but it's enough to get information about something new and then deep and then go deeper and start to use it.
Interesting. I wish I attended at least one tech conference, but usually I attend somehow else ones. Good. You worked for different companies with developers being part of distributed development teams model. So basically you had worked with so many developers from all over the world. Can you think, or maybe share with me, what is the big difference of Ukrainian developers with, I don't know, Western European, or maybe Asian or North American? Who you like most? Why? So things like that.
For me, it's just for me, I don't see a big difference between developers from others country. Because what I thought, you can find a good developer in any country. You can find a good developers in Asia, and also you can find good developers in Europe or Americas. So good and professional developer, it's not a national. It's like, I don't know, it's type of thinking. So I don't think it's possible to identify is it they good or not good just when you get when you look at this person. It's not possible.
I see. You interviewed lots of people, and of course you're taking part in, like, choosing who fits more and less. As a developer, as a senior developer, do you consider soft skills of a person much? Or usually, like, you do screening and, like, interview for the technical skills and let, I don't know, somebody else think about how the person would match you?
In general, I try to check tech skills of this person, interviewer, but sometimes if I feel that I just don't like this developer, maybe I even can stop this interviewing, because I don't feeling why I have to proceed with tech skills if I just don't like this person. But actually, it happens only one time on my life.
You're so lucky. I'm a little bit jealous. I wish I had statistics like you. Like one person was not somebody you liked, everyone else are good. But hopefully you were presented very good candidates, and maybe that's why yeah, you had so rare bad cases. Good. Often the people are changing their career from something not technical, but I don't know, maybe marketing like you did. What's your attitude or maybe advice or like your observation over such cases when the people switch their career from non-technical profession into software engineering, and whether you find these people to be capable of bringing like a synergy from their past knowledge, or usually they tend to become good developers and then like they become just equal to any normal person who was in this profession from the very start of their career?
So again, it depends on the personality, and it's possible to be a good developer, or to will be a good developer after non-technical professional. But what I see, it's better if you have some technical knowledge and you took it from your university, for example, because you need some fundamental skills and some fundamental knowledge in programming. As I said, for example, the same algorithm, it's better if you know it's before you starting to write your first line of code. Yeah, it's possible to start writing the code like you know in the way how you write the book, some kind of a book, and then you have ability to improve yourself and improve this code, but it could take 2 or 3 years, and for this first period of your developer's life, you can just you just do something weird, but and even it could work. But it will be it can work in a not optimal way.
Good. When you said about a couple of years of writing something weird, I thought of a new trend, no-code approach. So like, you know, I see more and more systems, platforms, companies are coming up with an idea of letting anyone like myself, who might be not the best coder, not trained, not educated on that, to be capable of creating some informational systems. As a developer, one take from it is like, okay, you could be programming such things. On other way, okay, if everyone uses such things, maybe the demand drops for the services of yours. What's your attitude to no-code systems?
My attitude to no-code system, for business, it's good to start this project and just to test if it's good for market, if it's workable, if a company can get money from the market with this service. But in the future, with growing and with scaling this service, I think they will need to redevelop this system in a normal programming way.
Did you ever think of moving to else country, like for good, to relocate, to be staying somewhere in a product or service company in Europe, in North America, Africa, Asia, whatever?
I thought about moving for half of a year, just to work in a different country. but you know, it's like a remote work. But to be true, I never thought about just to change country for entire life. Maybe it will happen. Yeah, in the future. But before, I never thought about it.
So your choice of staying in Ukraine is explained with your environment, community, like, you know, you got used to like living in your native country, or you don't want to be stepping into new society and, like, you know, moving through all these barriers. So what do you think is the main reason for that?
I don't know. Actually, I don't want to change citizenship of what I have now. I like Ukraine, but in future, I don't know. Maybe I will change this country.
Oh, we can change our choices all the time. So yeah, totally clear. Good. One of the last questions, I guess. So working directly with the client somewhere in North America, for example, or Europe, whatever, or working through the nearshoring, offshoring service provider like Mobilunity or anything else. What may be the pros and cons of every approach from perspective of a developer?
From my perspective, what I see, if you are in-house developer in a product company, you are more involved in the development process and in the process of planning this system. Then you are out-house developer from outstaffing company. But actually it depends on the company, because if company doesn't have in-house developers and they only rely on outstaffing, in this case I don't see a big difference. And like for me, if as a developer, what is good in working in outstaffing company, because you don't have to think about accounting, you have and you don't think about taxes, so I just concentrated on the development process. So it's like for me, like for developer, and I don't see big, but to be true, I don't see a big difference working in a good product company or working in a good outstaffing company.
Okay, good. So we had listened to Roman's story of how he has changed his job from initial marketing job into the software engineering, and now having 10 years of experience in software engineering, being a senior front-end developer right now. Roman intentionally stays in Ukraine, not thinking about relocation, but who knows, sometimes or sometime it may still happen. He shared his approach on how who to work with, how to work with different developers from different countries, what it is like to be working through nearshoring vendor or maybe working directly. I hope it was valuable to you guys, and hope to be you watching us next time. Bye.